Hope you have a comfortable night in your car. Peter in Oxford, what are the benefits?
Rachel.
What are the benefits of Brexit? I'm very well, thank you.
Well, as I said to you before, I voted to remain. I haven't changed my mind. However, you want to talk about the benefits.
Sure.
And I think there are very substantial benefits. First of all, for the criminal fraternity, for anybody who wants to evade the law, anybody who
okay, this is. I can see this is an ironic. The conversation has taken an ironic turn.
These are the beneficiaries. People who would have had to worry about the European arrest warrant or about the European
lawyers have
database.
benefited from Brexit.
Insolvency practitioners have benefited massively. Disaster capitalists, smugglers, people smugglers in particular, because people can't get sent back now since we left the Dublin Convention.
Yeah.
There are huge numbers of people who have benefited. But
lawyers.
But for you and me, there are quite simply no benefits. And unfortunately, Brexit has been pushed by some of the people who have benefited. You need only look at some of our political leaders, and I don't need to mention our dear member for the 18th century who has moved his business to Dublin because this is an opportunity for him.
Asset finance or whatever it's called.
Indeed. As I've said to you before, I think it seriously discredits our political masters that they still hang on to the notion that somehow that Brexit can bring benefits to ordinary people.
I want to ask you a question, Peter.
Yeah.
If you were Keir Starmer, what would your position on Brexit be?
Well, I think I would keep quiet about it. I certainly wouldn't make any commitments not to roll back on Brexit. I can appreciate
he's letting Sadiq do that for him, isn't he?
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think Keir Starmer needs his activists. And if they stay home, because what he says is trying to appeal to people who don't actually share their philosophy, because he's trying to appeal to Tories, win back Tory votes. None of what he is saying about Europe will have any resonance with the people on the ground. And if they stay home and don't knock on doors for him, then he's going to have to worry about his voters. So I think that's something he hasn't factored in. But let me tell you another thing. In response to several callers who said it's been badly handled, and that Brexit would be fine, as they used to say in the old days about communism. Communism would be fine.
That hasn't been done properly, yeah.
Well, if you have any faith at all, this generation of Tory politicians will act with wisdom and probity on the Brexit issue, then frankly you're a fool. It was foreseeable that they would mess it up. That had to be factored into the equation from the very start. And even if there is a good Brexit,
isn't that an oxymoron?
Often says,
there isn't such a thing.
No, but if there were, just imagine that there was such a thing possible as a good Brexit, then I think you have to go on the assumption that the politicians will mess it up because that's what their track record has demonstrated. I don't think that the Tories, even if there had been such a thing possible, would have been capable of delivering it. And that's because they have acted in throughout with lack of consideration, lack of foresight, and really self-seeking behaviour. It became
a contest between whose Brexit can be harder, within the Tory party, because they were being threatened, they were being pushed to the right by Nigel Farage, now they're being pushed to the right by Reform. That's what happened. That's why they didn't do a sensible Brexit, which was probably to remain within the customs union and the single market. I go back to the Chequers deal. That was the best Brexit I couldn't think of. If we had to have it. Peter, I want to squeeze in Jay, who's a first-time caller, but thank you, Peter in Oxford. Jay, we have to be brief.
Hi, Rachel. Yeah, first-time caller here. So, for me, I voted Remain.